Manhood, brought to you in part by Lucozade and Solomon Bespoke.
You should only know 5 colors as a man: red, blue, green, black, white. I forget any other colors. Yellow is not a color, that's the code.
This is Mano. Thank you for joining us once again on what we now call a powerful podcast. And I say that with no apologies, because I myself look back at these episodes, and what I think I've learned even during the episode, I learn even more when I look back at the episode. So I thank you for all your thoughts, all your responses, and of course, I'm always honored to be here with all the guests that pass through on the show. So we're talking today about living and laughing. So to my right, Johan Siaudike, behavior change consultant. To his right, the one and only veteran, the man himself, Errol Fabien. You know, really, 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 it is a pleasure to have you
here. Good to be here.
Have you on the set. And to his right, rising star, Jerome Richardson. You know, one of the funniest. He keeps. I want to say this from the start, right? He keeps looking at my ball. And I say, you can't have this one. But anyway, this is what you call blue ball, right? So we'll talk a bit about that. So we talk.
Squeezing it.
I have
Was
to.
it always blue?
It was always blue.
Okay,
It was
checking.
always blue. So we talk about living and laughing, and there's that quote that says, "A good laugh heals all hurt," or "Good laugh heals hurt," whichever, you know, whether it's all or whether it's something. The point is, to a good laugh really goes a long way, even if it gives you a moment of reprieve or release. But we want to go into, I mean, I don't want to, you two of you are the men in the business.
I like a good laugh, but a good laugh is painful for me because my stomach does. I laugh until my stomach hurts. And I try to do that every day, you know.
To develop some abs and things out.
Yeah. I
Right.
feel like I don't need to gym or nothing. So,
Right.
because and I laugh, my laughter is really good for me. My stomach literally hurts.
So I want to laugh at the fact that, you know, we ask you to put your phone on silent, but you know that the memo for that clearly didn't.
It on silent?
He was the one that tell us, huh?
That's the thing, eh?
But it's on silent.
He said, make sure everybody phone on silent. But you're right, it is on silent.
His
but
ringtone is actually vibrating.
vibrating.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, let's hear a bit about how you got into this thing, Jerome, before we kind of establish like what makes one decide, hey, one, I want to get into comedy.
Yeah.
But two, that how do you establish the fact that you're funny? Because a
Right.
Trini will stand up and just watch you straight. If
And
you
watching your face, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was than being booed, I think. Like at least if you're getting booed, you have something to work with. But Trinis is just, which is the worst feeling ever now, boy. Well, how I got into it is not like a superhero origin. Usually when I tell it, people just be like, oh, it's kind of boring. But I had a fear of public speaking when I was young, because I had to do like this speech and it was terrible, and everybody watched me like this as well and asked me why they put me to talk and all kind of things. So I developed that fear now, boy. Then when I reached in UE, I decided to do law, literally just by chance. And then I learned that you needed to talk in court now, boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, either do a public speaking course or just jump in the fire and do stand-up comedy. And I say it as a joke. I tell my friend, yeah, I want to try it. But it ended up having a stand-up comedy show in UE called Nah Horse Darrell Funny, hosted by Carrie Comedy. I don't know if all you heard of them, but they have long retired now. So I went to the event, and that's where I saw, you know, the comedians now who are doing it: Kevin Sawyer, Junior Lee, Kes Ramsey, the fellas who doing it now. And the only person that was good was Kevin Sawyer. So I was like, psh, I could do that. So I went up, because I funny in conversation, you know, with my friends and thing. when I went up there, I tried to be funny, like how I'd be funny with my friends, and I bombed. Everybody was watching me like, because it's a different, yeah, it's a different,
And
it's
your
a
friends
art
know
form.
you too.
Yeah, yeah, it's a different art form. You can't just come up and be, yeah, dog. So yeah, I went down the road. Everybody gonna be like, what are you talking about? You had to talk to the audience, you know. So I bombed, but I competitive. So I was like, nah, I need to try this again. And I did it again, and I get 4 laughs. And ever since that, like those 4
Forward
laughs,
how much?
just 4, 4 laughs that fueled my comedy career till this day. So I was like, I need to keep. I think, well, you asked me what you need to have as a stand-up comic to keep going. You need to kind of be insane, because when you go up on stage and you bomb, it have no reason for you to go back up there. You know what I mean? So you had to be kind of mad.
In fact, you have every reason to not.
You have every reason not to.
Well, what is saying they're interested in, because do you know why he said it's better to get booed than just a
Than
stoic
nothing,
reaction?
yeah.
You know why that is?
The psychology,
Yeah.
well, according to John psychologist, I think it better to get some kind of reaction than no kind of reaction.
Plus, you know they
But,
feel.
but like, we
You
could
know
even
how
go,
they feel when
go,
they
go
boo.
deeper, because most times, not everybody, but most times we define who we are based on people's reaction to us.
Fair enough.
Oh,
So if you get no reaction, subconsciously, sometimes you think, I don't exist.
so it better to exist, even if it's a bad,
Yeah, bad exist.
existence.
So even if
That's
four,
real heights.
so even if 4 people that showed up on that day in the
4
auditorium.
No, the 4 laughs.
4
It had
laughs.
plenty people.
Oh, it had plenty people. Okay,
And he's
okay,
still
okay.
doing it for laughs.
Bars. Bars. That's why I do it. Like, literally, I remember those 4 specific laughs. It was, one of them was, and it's still fueled to this day.
But what makes one an error? You know, both of you, because I mean, you've been doing it for years, so you
50.
understand you understand what it's like also to also bomb as well.
No.
I mean, maybe the insanity is that you're not even
it never
clued into
happened
the
to
fact.
me.
It never happened.
It's just
And-
1% of us it has happened to. You know. It don't really
And he
happen
was
to everybody.
he was our guy to tell his story. So what makes one determine I am funny? You know, you're in front of your peers may laugh.
But if
Yeah.
I tell you, if you go out there to make people laugh, or you walk out there, I am funny, you're going to bump.
You're bombing, yeah.
It's have nothing to do with being funny.
So you
In
really have
fact-
to be insane then. That's-
Yeah, it takes up quite a bit of insanity, but you have to also
Let me jump
know.
in, because insanity is such a general term, right? That kind of ambiguous, right?
Right.
So I could break it down in terms of even understand what is laughter. Because we talk about laughter could be the best medicine, right? What exactly is laughter? So if I was to break it down simply, laughter is a positive response to something that is outside of your sense of what is normal.
Okay.
So I'll say that again, it's a positive response to what is outside your sense of what is being normal. What do you think about that?
So is
I
it
can't
almost
think about that now. That song too high for me.
is it then that an emotion like anger, like anything outside of what is normal, you're going to get a reaction within yourself. So like for example, if you're angry, it's you're angry because it's outside of the normal what is occurring. So you're going to have a response towards that until you can come back to your brain saying this is normal, so I'm cool. Which is where your
most
cortisol
times.
then drops.
Most times, yes, because in doing research, laughter generally, scientists can't necessarily explain why we laugh, right? What their thoughts are is that laughter is a survival response.
It's a coping thing.
Right? But even the origin of laughter comes from your sense of humor, right? And our sense is a culmination of our thoughts, how we grew up,
Experiences.
our principles, etc. So that's why some people, well, most people, all of our sense of humor is different. So and tying into what you all said, if you go up to try to make somebody laugh, you don't know anybody's sense of humor.
it's not really that, you know. Humans are so sensitive. When you walk out there so confident, they already don't like you.
Right.
They
Right.
hate you
Right.
and they want you to bomb. You need to be so likable. You see, the scientists don't know how to define laughter. I could define it in my own ghetto way. I think laughter is like sweat. So when you well up with too much happiness, the happiness need to overflow into some kind of thing, which is the laughter. It involuntary. You know what I mean? When you talk, when you say something funny or you see somebody fall in Europe, you have to laugh.
No. Because if
You have to
sense,
laugh scientifically.
Your sense of humor
Nah,
will make you laugh. But somebody else, they might be, hey, oh God, you're right there, and help them up.
Yeah.
Right.
You
But
know,
if all these things lead to laughter, how is it that a newborn could smile
All
at
right.
certain
And laugh,
things?
yeah.
All right,
And
so
laugh at
we can get
certain
into
things.
that. According
chemical
so
thing.
research
a
shows that,
overflowing of
that
happiness.
babies average laughs 200 times a day,
There you go.
right? And that is because that's a survival technique. Because remember, I say when it's outside of your sense of things, a baby have no sense of things.
Correct, yeah.
So everything to a
I
baby is
have to
funny.
be a baby. I still laugh about 200 plus times a day.
Facts.
Well, good, because they say adults typically laugh 10 to 15 times a day. So that's to tell you how sad we just get.
I ain't grew up yet.
Nah.
buddy.
I still laughing 200 times a day.
And I still asking myself, like, I'm now 1% again, bull, because I'm trying to laugh 10 to 15 times a day. You know, I gotta call you guys more.
Listen, I tell you, I laughed till my stomach hurts. That's how much I laugh.
So you laughing at yourself or you laughing at life?
What different things in life. You see,
Outlook.
I have found, right, that the things people laugh at the most are the things that are the least funny. Like if I go on stage and do a routine about me having erectile dysfunction, people will be on the ground. But what is funny about erectile dysfunction?
Nothing.
Okay,
There's
so
nothing funny
there-
about
remember,
erectile
this is a
dysfunction.
survival technique, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's a coping mechanism at times. So therefore, sometimes when something is too distressing,
They
right,
laugh.
you laugh
For
because
release.
if I do the negative point of view, I might drop down there. If you understand, because I've been dramatic with that, but it's also a really to cope with it. Because sometimes you see something so stupid, or let me say something so random happen. You're driving and you get an accident. All I could do is laugh. Yes, if you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying, because it's also a survival mechanism.
But it's also that in the survival, it's also things that you can relate and connect with. Think about some of the funniest videos of this guy, for example, walking around in parks and farting, right? And people killing
who is
themselves
this guy?
laughing, but it's a release of
And
gas.
Who's this man?
I've seen, I don't find those videos
Yeah,
funny.
let me go and report that video.
I
Who is
would
this
see
man?
some of the reactions.
It's the reactions.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Reactions
The
is
fart
funny.
itself is really funny. It's the reactions to see how
Yeah,
people
farting.
dive and have the, you know, they
And
move
some
it so
people
prim
just
and proper.
beaten, and when he go on, they killing themselves laughing at him. But the laughter doesn't make me laugh.
Yeah.
So it's like
The
erectile
situation.
dysfunction. It's because one, it could be two things. One, in the trauma, as a trauma response, there are two things. One, you either, and we've said it already, where people, for example, if you dislike someone who's fat, there are two things. It's either you are in fear of getting fat, body dysmorphia, or you are yourself, you were fat and you struggled and you got insulted.
What
So-
about if you're afraid of the fat person himself?
But that could be, but a trauma response. So when you talk about erectile dysfunction, you talk about where your self-deprecation, with like for example, Kevin Hart does a lot of that. People laugh at that in
Yeah.
itself. You're making fun of yourself, and that they can connect with certain things.
That
But
is
it
a
might-
real treasure on stage as a comedian. Because if I talk about how Robert have erectile dysfunction, it's not funny.
Not
Yeah,
funny.
I don't.
As though I say,
don't. Okay.
I have.
Right.
And what happened to me.
Yeah.
Because they want to laugh at me. There's some joy these sick people have.
not
They
necessarily.
like to laugh at me.
Not necessarily is towards you. It could be towards you,
Yeah.
right? But
Most of my humor is about
remember
me.
says
and
outside
people really
your
laugh.
sense of what is normal.
Yeah.
It is not normal for somebody to make fun of themselves.
Right.
So
Fair
what it
enough.
does in your brain say, that's strange, right? That's an anomaly. And then your brain say, is it hurting me or helping me? And then, well, it's not doing me anything. So then I laugh. Right.
When you
Or,
can't
no,
figure it
they could
out.
not like you too, but
Yeah.
I given a next side of it
Yeah.
also.
That happened to me with listening to one of these podcasts, one that you sent me with Jamel. I couldn't be on that one, boy. I think it was about bullying,
Bullying, yeah.
and I just thought it was hilarious. You brought up this situation with this man who beat his son and then threw salt and black pepper on him. Who does do that? Who does do that?
No, notice, we laugh first at that, right? Because that is so out of our sense. But then when our brain thinks about how painful that could be,
Yeah.
then you might laugh. But
No,
the
but
point
the
is that
salt and pepper
outside.
it's so ludicrous that you think to yourself like that would be your reaction. Because to me, I'm thinking that wouldn't be my reaction. So like you said, it's outside of my normal thinking. So the fact that they did that is what makes me laugh. Not the fact that the guy got beaten up. It's the salt and pepper. And we could also, in our sense of humor, also have what people may call a sick sense of humor because it's not their sense of humor. Just like a fella falling and busting their
I get real anxious right now because I do this and the 15 minutes now pass. So I'm concerned that you're missing a break.
Oh, missing the break. Okay,
so
okay.
I get anxious for them.
So here what you need to do.
Myself.
Take us to the break. Take us to the break. We don't want your anxiety.
So my friends, stay with us. This is Man Talk. Is Man Talk?
Manhood,
Manhood.
manhood.
Manhood. Not your neighborhood. Manhood. And we soon come. We'll be right back.
This is manhood. We're talking about living and laughing. So you asked about what
What
how
got you?
laughter affects me, or how seeing other people laugh, what does it do to me? I would say, it definitely inspires me to keep going. Makes me feel like I'm on the right path. I don't laugh as much as Uncle Errol. I don't laugh as much as Uncle Errol, but before I started to do comedy, laughter was part of my daily life. Like I think it was asking how do you determine if you're funny? How do you determine if you have that gene or whatever, that personality to be a comic? I think definitely the first step is just being able to entertain your group of friends. But that's not even what you need to be a good comic. You just need to be able to write. You know what I mean? Being funny is like a bonus, but being able to write and structure a joke is like it have real stand-up comics that not funny. Or you will have them here and they will just not be funny, or you line with them and you're like, well, you use an accountant or something. You know what I mean? But stand-up comedy it's so structured. If you know how to write a joke, you will be hilarious.
So if you can write and you know how to present, is it something that can be taught? Can someone be taught to be a comedian? Like you can go through a craft?
So, no.
No.
You could get by. Somebody could write a joke. Uncle Errol could create a star. If he wants to, he probably has. So you
Because
could,
what are some, because someone to determine, okay, I'm writing this, I'm delivering this, and it's people are laughing at it. Is there a thought? So it's not a space that you would say that you come from in a dark space. A lot of times you hear about comedians coming from a dark space. Do you find yourself that you generally through life find things hilarious and you live in that state of I for lack of a better term, lightness, that you can look at things and pull and say, okay, that's good material, that's funny, and it makes you laugh and you think, okay, well, surely other people may find that funny.
Yeah.
And it's a case of, as you talked about, other people's sense of humor, that you really need to find like-minded people who would follow you or come into your, be an audience.
Oftentimes, I find something funny, I would not use it on stage, because stage is a discipline, and it's very different to life. Something that I find serious in real life, sometimes I say, I could use that on stage. I could pull some out of that, but sometimes things that I see that real funny, and my wife in the car me killing myself laughing, I would not go on stage and do it. And then a lot of things that I find funny.
Why?
Pardon?
Why wouldn't you?
Because I have a persona, I have a sensibility, and I have a sense of my craft. So sometimes something very funny, but it's politically incorrect. I would not go on stage and say, I wanted to cuff she down or something like that. I would never go on stage and say that, because that something is mortally wrong with that, you know? But I might hear somebody say something and I find it funny that you want to cuff down the woman, but 3 times his size or whatever it is, you know? And I laugh at that. I would not go on stage with a story about a man beat a woman.
Okay.
That's not funny.
So in typical, as we say in Trinidad, we laughing at everything. Everything is a joke.
But we just say, if we don't laugh,
we
go
cry.
cry. You know?
So
That's
in
how we
everything
have
is
to.
a joke. You're really saying that what you in your sense of humor find funny, you will not carry it on stage for someone else to laugh because of reasons like it might be politically incorrect. But instead of that, we are saying, hey, everything is a joke. I'm not going to take something that's serious and find a way to communicate it and say it on stage, knowing that people are going to laugh at that. So in other words, it's almost like they themselves are laughing at the political incorrectness because it's serious.
Yeah.
And because it's outside the norm of them probably thinking that, hey, that's true, we really do that, boy, and you're laughing at yourself or your behaviors or your familiarity. Familiarity.
You got it right.
Yeah, I got it right the first time. I was just checking to make sure everybody understood I was enunciating. With the fact that this is happening around us. So is it then that it really is down to survival and a release mechanism? So
Yeah, I think laughter is involuntary, but again, this thing is much deeper. Like we be in surface level, we're scientists, right?
Of course.
We be in surface level because there are different types of laughs. It have, according to Uncle Errol, he taught me this. It have the smile. It have the, it have the, it have the ogadoi, or the ugud, and then the ogadoi, you're on the ground. So it had different levels. And you notice, and this is a trial and error thing, you can't be like, all right, this joke will specifically get a ogadoi. You just have to try and feel, all right, this one get this one get this one get this. And on top of that, you can't, a lot of comics want to have people on the ground for the whole set. You can't do that.
you can't do that.
People will be exhausted.
And it's monotonous. Anything that is on one level is monotonous.
You
have
know
to
why? I could
peaks and
give
valleys.
an explanation for that. There's a theory, right, that says to understand human behavior and influence human behavior, it is akin to sex, right? So with sex, you're supposed to start with the foreplay and then you get progressively either harder or faster. But you can't stay hard all the time, right? So similarly with the laugh, the smile that's all going in your progression,
Right.
Yeah.
which is you start with the foreplay, you go up, and then you hit hard. But you can't stay hard all the time, so you have to bring it down like that. And if with that cadence, that is generally how we influence human behavior.
And just like you say with a woman and a crowd, women like surprises. So you can hit hard first and then you slow down. Audiences like the mix up,
really
So is it that we
Come
all
from,
kind of operating with erectile dysfunction then? Because if you're not remaining hard
You
or
ready
during
to
the whole
talk about this
process.
some more?
Huh?
It really bothering him, All right, so here why it is.
I find the little bonks is like there was a sort of agreement there, but
Akin, there's
that
a
akin
kind of
spirit to the fact that
You see, what happened is, let me tell you really what happened there. A joke just tie back to something in front.
Call
and
back.
when you get that on stage, that is magical.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right,
That's what happened. There was a tie back.
You understand the progression? You touch one area and then you add it to something. You understand
Like you know what's
And you
funny?
bring it back.
Every show, I still your answer speaking to the mic, and every show I see him still watching the next direction.
hate to
You will
speak
take
into the mic.
100 episodes later. You know?
So maybe
Clearly, he
something-
doesn't often speak in
And
the
the editor will
microphone.
not find it funny when he edited.
So maybe something not wrong with his mic. Maybe something just wrong with him.
I agree.
possible, eh?
Just
That's a
harden.
tie back.
Just
You see
harden
that tie back there again? Very good.
How do you guys react?
You see, I learned it.
How do you guys react when somebody just comes? Okay, they know you're a comedian, and they go make me laugh, or the expectation they mightn't say it, but there's
Yeah.
an expectation that make me laugh.
You want to go first?
Well, I have a real problem with that because it's so unfair. Because when they meet the doctor, they wouldn't ask for injection. If they meet a lawyer, they wouldn't ask for a lie. They would meet Lara and say, hit a four, let me see that.
No, that's not true because doctors have told me, clients who are doctors of mine, every time somebody talk to them,
They want advice.
So,
They want
so
advice.
it's the same thing.
Fix my shoulder
But
right now.
they
You know,
want
as soon as don't
They
go
want
doctor,
a joke.
so yeah, that's that.
What joke?
But that's how people view life, you know. If I just say pull up a screen and I see one of y'all performing, all the connection is that man does make me laugh.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I see you in real life,
You want
that's
to laugh.
all you exist as.
Yeah. So I don't like to fight the ocean because I can't swim. That's number one. But I like to go with the flow. So I realizing people doing this to me for the last 5 years. So I actually have like a folder of jokes that when somebody tell me, hey, tell me a joke, I just pull
That's
it
for
out
them.
and do it.
Because you're literally telling them a joke.
Yeah. I mean, it don't work because we in Europe. We stand up in Europe. Nobody else be laughing in Europe, you know?
But when you pull it out, people don't laugh. Because if I see that happen, the fact that you have the jokes, I find that funny all the time.
No, they just like they take it
They
very
waited
sincerely.
for it,
There's-
yeah.
Okay.
They're ready for it. I tell them, partner, they say, give me a joke. And I say, listen, now leave two in the car, coming back just not in the trunk. I try to get out of it.
I have my
because
notes.
It's awkward. I feel awkward.
I have my notes. I just do it. I mean, it don't
You know,
work.
you know what awkward?
What's that?
Men just come up to me to say to me, my wife really love you, boy. You're good. Listen, man. And want picture with me to show the wife and
No, but they
hold the
lying.
phone for
They
me to
love
tell
you.
the wife something. But
No,
them-
they
them
love
who
you.
me. It's them
Yeah,
who
but
love
they
me.
don't want to say that now.
So they say my wife will love me.
We have been blessed, in my years here at Garden Media, that we've had, every day I would see Tommy Joseph, George Gonzalez, so many people passing through these corridors. And I always remember Tommy coming one day, and it was just before Easter, and he said he just had this bag of soap powder. And he said anybody wanted, I selling it for $1.25. I said, Tommy, were you coming around selling soap powder for? He said, well, this weekend is kite flying season, so I sell in breeze.
Wow.
Only Tommy can get away with that.
I think that's
Only
what I'm
Tommy
saying.
can get away
So
with that.
the first moment
We
was
can't
like,
do that. I will get coffee in my face.
God,
Yeah.
like the stillness of the thing at that point, but it's Tommy, so
Tommy
therefore I just
Joseph
start to
can
laugh.
get away with that.
But the more I think about it, it's almost like Johan says depress me. Because I'm
What?
thinking that is laughter, is the act of it funny? Is it now that I'm thinking that what we do is really a release of being either uncomfortable about something or the fact that it's not normal? It's like almost like an epiphany moment, like, or it takes me out of in my brain, whatever my brain may determine is the status quo, and therefore it's the reaction to that is what is almost like as you're thinking, you're like, instead of going, oh, you go, ha, 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 and then you put it back into perspective, and then you come back down to no longer laughing.
You come back to homeostasis now. I'm a therapist, and he said I make him depressed. So that's not good for me at all, right? But
Messing
it
up the man
is
money.
a
A regular
release.
thing is at least once a week he does that.
Is a release of energy. That's basically what it is. And sometimes we,
So it's not funny then. So like funny
Fun is your sense. So the fun. So you know what is always saying is so human behavior is thought into feeling into action, right? What we think creates feeling or energy, and the energy fuels our action, right?
But where does the thought come from? Experience? Our
Yes,
frame
or
of
your sense of your values, however you grew up, the experiences you had. So therefore, when you see something, let's say it's anomalous, you see a man fall on the ground. I'm using that simple example. Your sense would be immediately, hey, I see my grandmother fall, and I remember how painful it was. So therefore, your sense, I'm not laughing, I run into hell.
Can't laugh at that. Yeah.
Or I never see nobody fall like that before that hurt, or I never fall like that. You know what? That's strange. So I laugh.
It's not. I don't laugh. I'm not laughing at the grandmother, but like you said, it's not funny, right? And I'm just thinking of a moment when I was living in England, and my cousin, she was walking and she kicked like something in the road, and we had to laugh at that point because we were like, who would have found that particular? It was something in the road that you really wouldn't tell yourself that someone would kick and go. And once we realized she was okay, right?
Laugh. You bust out laughing.
You bust out laughing, but I'm asking again, is it that the laughter is a moment of release? It's a moment of almost going, I'm glad you're okay, it's a release, as opposed to something that's funny, because funny would be that you feel good afterwards. In every laugh, are you feeling good
I
afterwards?
don't feel good after.
This is
Your
what I'm
body,
saying.
no, all
right?
the time.
Your body
And there's a
saying,
difference.
your body
It's a
saying,
release.
I'm glad that whatever I saw that is outside of my sense is not dangerous, right? So, okay, so let's just say whatever normal, you see something strange, your body say, oh, right, something strange, and then it makes sense. Oh, it's not harmful to me or others. That energy that was built inside there, ha 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 ha.
Correct.
Ha, and it
So
come
it's
out.
not necessarily funny. So a joke, when we come back to what most comedians, I'm just saying most comedians now speak about either they're self-deprecating or they're speaking about life and then things that you connect with,
Everyday
and the
things.
audience laughs. My question is it then that people leave feeling good as opposed to if you said a joke, which is written like when you say two nuts going through a park, one was assaulted. Okay, nobody. Okay,
I'm looking at the comedians for that.
but I'm saying to you that
fresh.
that was fresh.
That
But I'm
was
saying to you
fresh.
that is specific to going back to old school as a joke. That
Right,
was
a
written.
joke-telling thing,
That
yeah.
was literal to be funny, as opposed to make somebody laugh. Which, it is to my understanding, what's happening here is that it's a release, almost like, okay, well, I could see someone else has experienced that. I could see someone else is, I'm aware of that. It's outside of my norm, and I'm just releasing. So I'm not necessarily feeling good when I leave a comedy show.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, it is feel good because what the laughing does, it reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone. What laughing also does, like when you're saying the exercise, right? What it does, it our rib cage, right? If I just go straight physiological, right? The muscles in the rib cage doing this. So let's say if you had any tension, laughter is release tension in your body. Right. So in that sense, you leave feeling good, if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I know it is before Errol takes us to the break again.
I'm about to.
I know he's about to
But
take a.
then-
He's
but
watching
then-
that time. He's watching that timer. But I just what I want to get into is, with the topic as we're talking is living and laughing, and there is an importance to laughing as we discussed. It's a release. No matter what circumstances you're going through, it's important to find something to
And it's human. Eh?
and human, something to laugh about or something to get by. And the importance of what you guys do is bringing that to people in many ways. But in bringing that to people, you yourselves have gone through periods of dark spaces. I mean, and Errol, your story alone, it's well known, well documented. Tell us a bit about that story and how you were able to take that and that life and provide entertainment and fun and so many other things that people now, there's always that thing about people will always remember how you made them feel, how you were able to take that. And was it that in itself that saved you?
Well, my friends, the answer to that and more when we come back. This is Manhood. We talk about living and laughing. Just right, my friends. Welcome back. This is Living and Laughing. Manhood is the name of the show, right? Well, you know the thing. Only been here for eating. So, Robert did a very complicated question and a very convoluted response to what you just asked. Because as I have aged, as I have evolved, what I went through in my life as an active drug addict and different things that we refer to as dark now, I don't see them as dark anymore. You know, I see those things as the juice I went through then to make what I am now. The situation I went through to get to where I am now. I would not give up what we're referring to as those dark times in my life for anything. I have a sense too, sorry to digress a little, I have a sense too of my creator, and I have a sense that my creators put me through things to get me different places for me to appreciate different things. And it's not only through my drugging, it's through relationships, it's through my children, it's through so many things. So it's not a immediate connection. However, I've never gone on stage and made fun of it, of any of it, because stage is a craft. It's a thing that has some rules and some rollout and ways of executing that I do for it to work for me. Like when I go on stage within the first minute, I need to know who's there, what they're up for, what they game for. And sometime in that first couple of seconds, I change what I came to do because I realize who's there and what they're here for. All right? So, but wow. I'm kind of lost in that question because, again, now, okay, so one of the things I used to do is play a drunk. And even when I was into early recovery, I used to do that too because he's a character I used to hide in life and on stage because he could do and say anything and get away with it because he's drunk. It started to take a toll on my throat to do, a physical toll. So I don't play the drunk anymore for that because I would do a 20-minute routine drunk. And it's intense because it's a lot of physical work, it's balance, it's a lot. So I don't do it. I don't have the energy for that anymore. But
So that's not the character you came on the show with?
No.
Okay.
It looked like it appeared
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, I thought so. I thought Errol in character.
Yes,
Okay,
so
well.
I realized that you're very perceptive. But that's just a little thing you get, but you're good. But what I do is look at life and look at my life. A lot of my comedy comes out of experiences that I've had or things I see, around me. My world is where a lot of my stuff comes from.
You spoke about the creator and, God, and of course the influence in your life. And there's always that without any test, there's no testimony. And where you are now is the testimony of that which you have experienced throughout your life and that you can offer. So outside of the comedic side of you, there's a mentor to so many. And of course, in what we will determine your life's work. But what are some of the things to young men, say, for example, listening on, that even in those moments, whether we define it as dark or whether now in hindsight you can look at it as tests that you've been through that brought you here, that got you through those moments? Is there a mantra? Is there something that because at the time you're probably not always going to say, hey, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Almost never. But once you do get there, and in that hindsight, like for me, I always tell people, for me, it's this too shall pass. But that came after it did pass. And that 6 o'clock the next morning did come, and I survived through it. And now I can look back and I have something to hold on to. And that's where that mantra, that
My
that
father
means
used
something
to say
to me.
that, and it's very powerful. This too shall pass. Shall pass. For me, it's just for today. Just for today. I don't have to deal with anything in this whole world, good, bad, or indifferent, except for just for today. So I could make it through today.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that's really because the present is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it does like a thing in recovery circles too. Because the battle is such a battle. If you're studying, it could be you'll be defeated.
Yeah.
But today, I could win today. I could guarantee somebody I would not use drugs today. Guarantee. I'm not using today. I don't have to worry about nothing else. You know, like I having problems. Anything, anybody, listen, if you are having a problem with anything in your life, you can beat it today. Yeah. I know it's going to feel real difficult a lot of the times, but get through today. That's all you need to do. Get through today.
Profound.
And clock it. We clocking it. We clocking it. Yeah. Not this. Not this. This is something totally different. I think.
Oh, is this one?
Huh?
Oh,
No, I mean, however you doing it, but see doing again, you give me a little.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's this one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's this one. This
Uh-huh.
one. Yeah. Well, he
Okay.
know it.
Enough for the show that or busting and all these other words. He's still catching up, but I mean, I trying to keep up with the language of the younger people. I keep saying the young people, and you realize that you're sounding just like how your parents sounded.
Like an uncle.
Like an uncle. So I was playing pickleball the other day, and these young boys going, uncle, right? Looking around to
Who
see.
they talking to?
Call it uncle, boy, you know?
I must stop pulling bull because of that. You know? He said, "Oh man, jump out! He can't say thanks, uncle." He said, "I done." He ain't pulling bull
I
again.
ready to, you know.
Come to George,
we
boy.
call it-
You know, one of the things I want to jump back with respect to being a comedian, right? You don't have to try to be funny and thing. But what really works for a comedian is someone who loves to see and hear people laugh. Because now you'll start finding the tricks to trigger it.
Yeah.
To trigger it. I love to see people laugh. I love to hear people laugh.
Why?
It makes me, it's some chemical that's released in me. I feel real good. It's a feel-good thing for me.
Yeah.
But when it happens to me on stage, it's a feel-powerful thing for me. You know, like if I hear my granddaughter laughing, or whatever I do, I feel good, I feel nice.
Yeah.
But when on stage and people laugh, I feel powerful. Yeah.
I could even ask, why powerful on stage?
Because I did that.
Yeah.
I make that.
That is it.
It's 10,000
Hold
people.
on,
and if
hold
I
on
say,
as we pause again for this man to talk on the mic. I know you guys are present on the stage on the all the time, but every time you want to talk to Errol boy, you want to talk to him quite here. I think what we have to do, we have to mic him in the future. You know, I think it's the only way to get past.
All right.
when making them laugh is real powerful for me. But see, when I stop and there's complete silence, oh my gosh, I could have an orgasm. And I said,
Control.
Nobody's probably
Yeah.
have one.
I didn't like that thought, but
Nobody-
yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I see what you're saying.
In terms of what happens inside, right? It mightn't be ejaculation, but it is akin to
Yeah,
orgasm.
Yeah, but you want to look so uncomfortable too now, eh? Like,
Let me be myself now. This is how I
Hold on,
express.
hold on.
This is how I'm
Yeah,
expressing
yeah, bring it.
myself.
Right. Okay, good. I want.
no,
you
listen,
You
I have
said
to
something.
tell him something very important.
Go ahead.
You cannot use the word express in this building. I know, man. You send home for that already. You know? Don't talk about expressing yourself. You have to say, saying how I feel.
You know, you
Perfect.
feel
Perfect.
correct. Or rate,
You can't
you
use
know,
that
discuss.
problem in this
Can't use that
building?
word.
Correct, you know. Make sure. Thank you for being a good guardian.
I'm on board. You know, I worked here for
Bars.
more than 20 years. So I'm familiar with the
Familiar
protocol
with
and the
what's
culture.
happening.
Very familiar.
When
appreciate
you
it.
said, I want to understand it because I think I understand by now where your answer is going with this. When you said you feel, okay, so you said you feel good when you're making other people laugh and you feel powerful when you're on the stage. But what is the difference then between someone who you can see being or moving to be a class clown and someone who is naturally funny? So, you know, people who, sometimes you see people just really being over the top, just trying to get a laugh, like maybe could even damage themselves in just trying to get somebody to laugh. And therefore, are they laughing with you or what is happening or what you're saying, or are they laughing at you for being a jack?
Well, it's all of the above, you know, depending on the people who are laughing.
Right. No,
Some
but I'm not
people
talking
laugh.
specifically you doing that, but I'm just saying in general that people who
Yeah, in
may
general,
put
people
themselves-
laugh at something because I'm a real stupid boy. You
Yeah.
know?
Well-
or he did something that real make them, for them is really funny.
But
if
are
three
they
people
missing
here,
something?
Is
at
a
home, is
energy
something-
is a energy because how do we know if somebody trying too hard, right? How you
know.
know that? We know.
We
But
know.
what it is
Yes, no,
is
yeah.
an energy, because a lot of times
What-
class
but-
clowns trying too hard.
Right, and it mightn't be funny.
But what you're
they're
feeling
doing-
is force. You're feeling force from the person. So, nah, I can't say this on here. So it's like if I'm trying to force you to laugh. So you see how you do the foreplay and you get the person to laugh. A class comes something what we consider when somebody trying to force you to laugh. So therefore your body now, when you exert force on anybody, you get resistance.
But is that a result of lack of attention, like at home that's what I'm talking about. The difference between someone
that one is
being-
real.
could be an
That could be a
aspiration,
real
you know.
different
Right.
thing.
It could
Real
be an
different.
No, but they
aspiration.
mightn't want to be. What I'm saying is they mightn't have an aspiration to be a comedian. They're doing something. They're not getting attention at home or something, and therefore to fit in society or
attention.
socially is like, okay, they laugh at me. I'm gonna fit into that.
If I could go with a base, because of course everybody different and can be different for different people. It is like what I was saying in the beginning. A lot of times we define who we are based on the reaction of others. So if it is, I feel a low sense of self, I will try to get
This
a
is what I'm
reaction
getting
from
at.
others to get that.
Yeah.
So in the difference between the comedian and the person who's trying too hard, the class clowns, because that person, where the darkness may come in, is that person has a low sense of self. And by getting the same way we use social media now, with the likes and persons going on things that are popular and putting something negative and seeing maybe 1, 2, 3 and getting that rush, that not adrenaline, the dopamine rush. It's because again, it's from a low sense of self at that point that you are now getting some moment of reprieve.
I wouldn't I think the comedian is an archetype. I wouldn't separate an archetype. I wouldn't separate the clown from the jester to the. I wouldn't say anyone is above the other, because the Jim Carrey is a clown, and he was at the top of the hierarchy at some point. We would have called him a try-hard at some point, but he's brilliant. He's good at what he does. You know what I
It's a
mean?
craft.
Yeah, it's a craft. So I don't think, I think trying to scientifically break down comedy, what does make us laugh, kind of like, trying to break down a sunset. You know what I mean? Like the
It just
sunset is good because of the orange in the,
It just is.
like
It
it
just
just
is.
is
It
now.
just
Like.
is. But
And as always says, Class Clown, shameless plug, I have a tour called the Class Clown Tour.
oh, very good.
Yeah.
When?
2 went already. I had one sold out, and the next one is on June the
That
26th.
venue was very small.
It was real small.
Real venue.
60 people.
Was it more than the 4 people you had when they?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
But that's good. What's the date for the rest of it?
The 26th of June in Cafe Blue.
You must call me and remind me and invite me.
You will come?
So, I mean, if
Well,
I'll
you-
come,
All right.
So the
I'm
same way-
calling you.
this-
All you see
Call
it
me.
on camera.
I'll come.
I'm calling him.
The same way when you came on the set, you asked me for a cup, you asked me for my ball, you asked me all kind. We getting cups?
Yeah? What you mean?
You know, I so
mean?
trillion. You meet somebody here again, come
Come,
so.
sir.
You know, like you wouldn't say, hey, let me support the brother.
Support.
How much is
not
the show?
Yeah.
How much is it?
And
ticket?
this
It's
thing,
$153.
we supporting, but I don't want you to come.
For
I want
one.
to support the show.
153?
Yeah.
What did three
and
for?
that in itself funny.
What you mean?
But I had a show once, it was 51, but it one was to go to a charity.
No, it's just 153.
153?
It
Very
is.
good.
Every show are increasing it by a little bit.
Yeah.
So the next one gonna be 157.
Listen,
very good.
that's
And
funny.
50
You
cents.
see, that out of the
157
sense of
cents.
what I know as normal, and that's funny. And I will pay the 153.
53
because of that.
exact, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Walk with your change.
Yeah.
You know, just now you ask something about like seeking attention kind of thing. But there's an African proverb that flew into my head when you said it, which was about a young man who burnt down a village to feel its warmth.
That was in Batman.
Eh?
Yeah, it
That
was
was
too.
an African
Yeah.
But they take that
Yeah,
from
yeah,
they
put
take
it
that
everywhere.
off.
Yeah.
But you see, like I, say
remember
that, and I cry every day to it. As a real cry, you know.
Serious?
So you are the quintessential when people say laugh and cry does live in the same house.
Yeah.
Right? That's you.
That's
Listen,
you.
I cry every day of my life, every day, and not because of sadness and thing alone, you know. All kind of things that make me cry. I'm very much in touch with my feelings now, because like when I was using, if you want to go back to that, I had no feelings at all.
Mm.
And a part of how I celebrate my recovery is enjoying my feelings.
Did it
all
make
of
you
them.
numb?
I was numb. I was really numb.
Mm.
Some I do. I hurt people who really love me and close to me and things. So now I enjoy all of my feelings. I care. I start to care now. I didn't used to care then. I care now.
What makes because you over your life, I mean veteran, I mean rising, that
I could tell her the Errol story.
you could tell her.
I want to hear this.
Yeah.
You know, it had a point. You're such a, I would say, in the prankster class. He loved to prank people.
Yeah, I do.
And I thought he was pranking the whole of Trinidad with, being an addict and all this. But, after hearing your story, I do believe that you were. But there was one time that I doubted you, because you was in the car with me and you said, marijuana. And that made me doubt you completely. I was like, who the hell is say that?
Marijuana.
You can remember? You remember when you tell me that?
Very big.
You was like, us who use marijuana. I said, I've never used marijuana. What's that?
What I want to get to is you brought so much reason. When I brought up veteran and rising, and you wanted to tell your Errol story, which you did, marijuana, and like people say cocaine, and
He's probably say that too.
what do you find laughter in? It's one thing you're bringing laughter to people, but that doesn't mean that you're finding those same things funny. Like you said, what you bring to the stage is not what you find funny.
Correct.
What are some of the things that you would say that brings you joy? Not necessarily who you may find funny, but because other comedians not necessarily find the other one funny because they know the craft and they know why you might be doing what you do, and they say, I see you and I know why you're doing these things, but in that context, you see it as black and white. What are some of the things you may say you do for your sense of release? Somebody like me will be coming to your show to get a sense of release, and hopefully I'm not looking at you in a stoic fashion when you're up on that mic and going,
Hopefully.
this is
Well,
what
you
this
come
man,
and show and tell me.
this is what this man make me pay $153 for. I shall really take the comp.
I don't know if I going through my phase or whatever.
But you're rising, remember that.
Yeah, I rising. I stand-up comedy used to be my release, but I stopped watching it for a number of reasons. I don't want to accidentally take a joke, because that's like taboo in our community. Like, people will hate you for, like, there are people who I hate now. Like right now as we speaking, that I hate because they stole jokes from me, or take it from somebody else and get an easy laugh, and it's like, you didn't earn that, So I have that fear of like taking something accidentally, remixing it. Also, I don't enjoy it anymore. As watch it for, techniques. I'm looking at techniques of the comic. I'm trying to learn, and I'm listening and paying attention. It seems now that humor used to be a release for me, but now it's a tool. I use it as a tool to get across whatever message I trying to get across. That has been my set. I try and talk about something. I not just coming up to, try to make you laugh. I trying to talk about what's going on in government, what's going on in country, what's going on in the world. That's how I just express myself.
With a minister who may have fallen a couple of times.
Yeah, possibly, So that's how I see humor. But perspectives has always changed. So you might talk to me here next 5 years, it'll be a completely different conversation. I always changing, evolving, shifting, So right now is a tool to get my message across or to achieve my goals, whatever that is, right now.
That's important to give ourselves permission to evolve.
Yeah.
Too many people don't do that. we must give ourselves permission to evolve.
And I know you're going to be keeping your eye on the time as well.
Oh,
so
we way over.
So I
give
know,
up, I
I
give
know you
up.
know we way over. But
we way
this,
over, I give
but this
up.
segment we tend to go way over. So I don't want you to close the show
Very
before I
well.
ready to close it, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
If you don't mind, right? But just to ask, did you ever, any of you, ever find yourselves in a position where you went over the top and that people don't always think, okay, he's being funny, even though, because not everyone will know that, for example, you are a comedian, and that you may have either put yourself in check, that, hey, that was a bit, I went overboard here, or that someone went overboard and you get like a burners, or somebody threw salt and
Salt and
pepper,
black
on, you,
pepper.
on you.
Listen. Yeah, fed up. I sometimes is an adjustment all the time. I might, let me just say I have a show the night before. My energy just be up here. The next day I have like a family gathering. My energy still up here and get grounded. And when you're talking amongst comics, the most over the top thing does win. You know, we just play comedy. So when you with your normal family and you say some wild thing, all of them does just be like, you okay? So that has happened constantly. I always have to adjust to whatever crowd. But I always going over the top with regular family members, with people as dates, you know. And then I just had to say sorry. It kind of hard to explain, you know.
Right.
But all the time.
Where somebody say, Errol, like, hey, you know, now everything's a blasted joke and get violent.
Yeah.
So you have to apologize.
I just had to apologize. Well, I'm sorry for my behavior. I didn't mean to tell Granny that. She could see very
A
well.
voluntary apology, or somebody else say, Jerome.
Yeah, now
you have
somebody's
to
come and talk
apologize
to
for
me.
what you
And
did.
they'll be like, Jerome, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Well, out of order, boy.
Now everything's a blasted joke.
Yeah. I used to get up plenty, boy, growing up.
But I could identify with that high after the show. Because when I was using, that's when I use the most, when I come off stage. Because I didn't ever want to go on stage high. I did it once, disaster.
Horrible idea.
So,
Is it to maintain that high?
yeah, because after the show is like a crash for me. So I used to want to keep it there. So how I cope now, when I finish perform, when you see me walking off stage, as we going straight to my car, you know, as go home. As need to go home or I need to talk down. So I will call somebody and talk about anything, not about the show anything at all. Talk about all kind of thing. But I just need to go. I can't
come back
I
down
can't hang
to a
around.
normal person.
I cannot hang around at all.
You can't do that, yeah. And
If I-
people telling you was the best
Oh,
person
God.
ever. Listen, they not ready. They just pump you up.
I'm afraid that.
You can't do that.
Afraid that.
You gotta go home.
If I'm abroad and I come off stage, if I had to pay a taxi myself, if the promoter don't have a taxi there for me, I will pay a taxi to take me back to the hotel.
That's what I'm saying. When you reach the climax, you can't stay at the climax all the time. You have to go down.
Crash.
That's how people just get all these inflated egos and they walk around with, you know, these big jackets and thing. And they just be like, what happened to he? That's what happened to he.
You didn't come by me in a
do-
big jacket,
Ish.
like a trench coat.
You know, somebody teeth it.
What?
Yeah, so he teeth my trench coat, boy. Yeah.
So before Errol, Uncle Errol, gets in a whole fit, because I know he must be looking at the time
But
ticking over and
I
over
stop
and
watching,
over,
I stop watching
and stop
because
watching how it going over the 50 minutes for this
I have
particular
a
segment.
sense of it, so I
Yeah,
don't need
yeah.
to watch. When I check in and I realize as
Yeah,
as
the little
time
OCD
myself,
kicks in.
say,
I
nobody,
appreciate
know.
that because,
He
again,
about to do 30, you know. 30 yeah, then when it's 15, you know.
No, but I appreciate that you on the show for the first time pays attention to the clock, because there are people that have been on the show several times. I mean, I wouldn't call any names,
Yeah.
but right, and don't look at the clock. But what's your closing thoughts?
Oh, about what, the show? It's the
I
best
mean,
show in the
it'd
world.
be- I mean, if you want to get closing thoughts on anything else in your life, but I mean, if we could get to the show at some point, yeah.
On my life, well, why did you choose me as a guest?
That's your closing to us? Ask me a question.
Yeah, I want to know.
You're the
Okay.
third person he called and he get blank for the first two.
Junior Lee or he out the country?
But
So, yeah.
no, but I mean,
Yeah.
the truth be told, that's what happened. I mean, you were just the person that happened to go on Instagram, and I saw this thing pop up, and I called my friend Sophie and Loris, and they said, I mean, this guy seems he could talk. He might make you laugh or something.
I felt so. I get the call yesterday, so I said, I wonder who blanked them.
Who blanked me? So, but the truth is,
I don't mind. I'll go and do it.
In
It's
this
Robert.
case,
His name
It's
rhyming with
Robert,
Omi
yeah.
Ozif.
in this case, the truth is that what I said just now was a lie, or a bent the truth. I was looking for who is as we're talking about living and laughter, and also to relate with the audience, to be able to really have that definition, to get someone who does make people laugh. And in that research, you would have come up as the top name on the circuit now who is actually doing well. So kudos to you. I mean, I could only imagine all, the joke out of it, how difficult it is to make a Trini audience, as you said, laugh and speak about you afterwards in the positive, because it's so easy to say something negative. Like most people, they tell you one person may say something nice, 20 people will like to say something negative. So the fact that in people's mouths and their minds that they're stating that, hey, this guy is pretty good. Kudos to you, and I urge everyone who's looking on to pay the $153 and pay maybe $306. Take a friend.
Nah, it's about
Maths.
2-on-1,
Maths
256.
fast there, boy.
Where see,
Yeah, he do that.
I was
Yeah.
trying to you impressed with
That was
that.
good. That was very impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have 2-on-1s as well.
That is my kudos. But then you see in the how you were
That's a
impressed.
trick to sell out.
I was how the man just come now and say, boy, you have a 2-for-1. So he immediately take it away from himself. But that is a
See,
big.
I love my audience. I don't want them paying too much.
Well, you'll get more than 4 in this case. If you get the 2-for-1 special. But Errol, Tommy was the person we had called initially.
I would have gone with Tommy.
And
too.
I
In your position, I'd have gone with Tommy.
and but that is not to say that, because I know Tommy from here working, and it was the next call, but I know you from
He
years.
thought he couldn't afford you. That's
And
They can't get a number for Tommy. That's the problem.
well, I spoke to him, but Tommy will be on the show.
So-
And it is important to talk about living and laughter. But so to answer your question as to why I asked you on the show, it was really to give a presence of the importance of laughter.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, I'm really delighted that Johan said, he's done some research and he sounded really intelligent here today.
He did.
In regards, he did. He sounded
did.
And he have
impressed.
on a jacket.
And he has on a jacket. He impressed me with regards to the science behind that, because I am pensive. I must say, I'm really pensive in this moment as I am asking myself, I'm still battling with laughter and something being funny as to what is, that mechanism. So yes, we are feeling good afterwards, but it is not feeling good in the sense that I would have thought initially, like,
I could just
like
intervene
kicks.
there.
Of course you can.
So, I don't-
Remember the time, eh? That is,
Will we have our hour end?
Is
They
Uncle
throw
Errol?
the clock already.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
watching that.
I don't think going to a comedy show is just about feeling good, boy. Like that's such a it is such a narrow way to think about it. Because some people would go for a different perspective. For example, Cat Williams. Cat Williams talk about how, and this ties into manhood. He talk about how you shouldn't just try to give your woman the best sex of her life every time. You have to give her all types of sex, from bad to meh to amazing. And a lot of men, including myself, I have a perfectionist issue where I just only want to do it when you could get the best, perfectest, whatever. And that's a way to get horn. You know what I mean? As we would know, you have to give your woman.
When they say we would know,
You lost me there.
Oh,
You
yes,
lost me
we
there.
all don't know that.
You lost me there.
Together.
I'm not sure what
We
you're
all don't know that.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
speak for yourself. Speak in the,
But yeah, like he.
and most men can't give the woman the most amazing sex of their life.
Yeah.
They may aspire
Well,
to
I
do
wouldn't
so.
know.
So what you're
Right.
perfecting, the meh?
But I watch Cat William for a broadening of my perspective, not just to feel good. Like just feel like you could just go and eat a cookie or something, and it would make you feel better. But
So when I say just to correct you, there, when I say feel good meaning you're going with a purpose.
yeah,
And in entertainment in whatever forms, from my years as an anchor, from presenting, from hosting, whether it's shows I direct, there's one constant you have to remember. And you would notice as well, Errol, the fact is when someone sits down to give you their moment, it's a release that they're looking for, whatever that release is. They do not care for you to be sniffling, for you to say, I'm not feeling good on air. No. I am sitting down, whether it be when I was my time with news, and I can be, there were times that I was sick like a dog, where literally I was being propped up. But when that director goes countdown, and you are on air, you are upright, and you are delivering, because that person doesn't want to see the dramas they're going
Yeah.
through. They are looking at you for that moment, given that time, and they want to know that, hey, this is perfect.
yeah, they want
So
to be entertained.
They want to be entertained in
Yeah.
whatever format, because entertainment isn't always fun. Entertainment is you are literally being entertained in whatever the dictionary meaning will be. I mean, I'm sure Webster here could tell me at some point, right? If I'm coming to your show, I'm not coming to spend $153 that I could have bought several doubles at KFC and something else with, right? Not KFC, but something else. And I am saying that I am coming to be entertained.
Yeah.
In whatever format that may be.
What it is that, and people can argue with this, but all of us looking for fulfillment. That's what our bodies want. Fulfillment is homeostasis. Homeostasis is when
Funny, I use that word twice today, boy. Like, you know.
cool. When we feel balanced.
Yeah. Like his archetype. Those are words all they look up before they came on the show.
Right? So we want to feel balanced. So we always seek that balance in some way. So sometimes entertainment is finding that balance, right? That balance back. Sometimes I don't want to be entertained, but I want to learn something new.
Yeah.
And learning something new still, you see, learning something new still
Still a
stimulates
form.
that same thing
Correct.
that makes us feel fulfill or balance. You know, sometimes people watch a video and they say, that was so satisfying. Why watching that? Because it's satisfying.
Yeah.
That is the feeling of fulfillment that we all seek.
So you're looking to get something. The
You're
point
looking to
is,
get something.
whatever it is, whether it's a
Yeah.
laugh,
A
whether it's
novelty.
a novel, you're
Some people
you're
feel
coming
good
in with
from the
it.
time they buy the ticket for your show. You know?
Yeah.
So
Just
I had
be
to
in
go and
there.
see Jerome.
Yeah.
You had to go and see Jerome, and they buy the ticket, and they feel good.
Yeah.
They may not go to the show.
When I
Because of
paid $3
circumstances.
extra,
Yeah,
than
that's
the
not-
$150, if I paid
Yeah.
that $3,
Yeah.
that would make me feel interested. I never
Yeah,
paid $3 extra for a
150,
show.
and that's why I designed that. You know.
So you see the last 5 to 10 minutes, the additional part of the show, that was an advertorial. The whole discussion came around Jerome on stage, the different feelings, the different things to say, hey, pay $153 and please go and see this
Yeah,
gentleman.
yeah.
But
I'll
when
be
I
there.
say I want,
I'll be there. So
but when I say I want your closing thoughts,
Yes.
your closing thoughts on the show and a message to the audience, the people that are listening.
Yeah.
Maybe there might be 4 people listening, I'm hoping, to
My dear ones.
in what you're talking about with regards to living and laughter. So your own message to people.
I feel like we didn't answer the question fully, like the importance of living and laughter in men. So let me just say here, fellas, it is extremely important that he express itself, you know, in all aspects, as Uncle Errol say, with your happiness. Go to the cinema by yourself, watch a comedy, and literally belly laugh loud. Watch your reels and stuff on your phone and on Instagram without any type of envy, jealousy, or anything, and you will laugh harder, you'll laugh louder, and you will enjoy your life a little bit better. It is very important for us because we have a lot of stuff, that we keeping in. We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of stress that we're dealing with. And laughter does just make everything a little bit lighter, boy. So please prioritize your happiness. Watch your comedy. Make your jokes. Don't be afraid. Don't overthink. and try to enjoy yourself, enjoy your life.
There's nothing else to say? Okay, so I want to add that it's about mental health. For me, my primary health is my mental health. I live with a mental condition, a mental illness, and so I'm always very aware of my mental health. And whatever you need to do to feel good is important and it's valid. If you masturbate, if you need to watch a sunset, there's nothing wrong with that. If it is that you like to go and, I don't know, whatever it is that make you feel good, that's very important and it's very valid. Because as men, if we're not feeling good, we affect people. We are the leaders. We are in charge of so much in our lives. A married man, your wife depending on you, children depending on you, not just for what you bring home in the grocery basket, you know. They feel safe when you feel safe. They feel cared for when you care for yourself. So as men, mental health is very important, and we need to do what we need to do. If you need to go in the barber shop 4 times for the week, just to sit in that chair, that's where you feel grounded, you need to do it. Just right.
Stress, anxiety, depression, any burden just feel heavy. And laughter is the thing that either makes it lighter or it gives us the strength to carry it further. Full stop.
I can't go to the barber shop. And I think we have the same hairstyle.
Yeah, we go to the same barber.
We go to the same barber. And so that's not one of my points of release. But living on laughter, it really is important to understand that whatever you're doing that might make you laugh or give you that reprieve, that it's not hurting another person. But it is important to find that which brings you that at some point. It mightn't bring you 200 laughs. It might bring you 14 or 15. You might be able to entertain the 4 that my friend here had initially. But it is important to find that which gives you some joy every single day. And there's joy in everything. Also to, as Johan say would have said in a couple of episodes, is not that serious. And if it is not going to matter in 5 years, simply don't give it 5 minutes. So my message, and I know you speak about taking somebody else's line, but for this one, we're using it for the benefit of others. Remember, just for today. Just for today. Gents,
Just right.
a real pleasure, a real honor. Living on laughter. This is Manu.
Want to pressure my face, yeah. Want to pressure my face, hey. Want to pressure my face, I'm in a bus yet. I feel it down in my veins, my blood, sweat, tears. I'm a number, must make it and see success. Mommy must get a house and go fly some plane. Them I'm not gonna make prospects. I know them seeing by a bad perspective change, but when I thought feelings have no stress, no burden and enough that way. So far I got my know them know I see me reach it up at all. My pick the so my dad them I go that. I can't heal and you alone I know the hurt that. Promise myself when I get dead unless I not jack cause them can't me loud. And even they but tell the DJ them for blast that song. Let my music live on and it go la da la da dee da da. Want to push on my face, I'm in a bus yet. I feel it down in my veins, my blood, sweat, tears. I'm a number, must make it and see success. Mommy must get a house and go fly some plane. Them I'm not gonna make prospects. I know them seeing by a bad perspective change, but when I thought feelings have no stress, no burden and love that way. Them say blah blah blah, cause I'm me and the black sheep, ready for have things. I'm active, yeah. Full of beat like Baptist, them out cold like matches. Coming like bala bala, come Baptist. One team, I one dream, fully active. And I learn, yes, there's a and I learn. See myself on the stage show. See yourself doing all that one, I must make it. God, no one must make it. Yeah, yeah. Y'all gonna help me make some noise for? No one must make it. Yeah. God, no one must make it. Yeah. Under pressure, my face, I'm in a bus set. I feel it down in my veins, all my blood, sweat, tears. I'm a no one must make it and see success. Mommy must get a house and go fly some plane. Them tell me I'm not gonna make prospects. And I'm saying by a ball and perspective change, but I'm not that feeling.
Manhood, brought to you in part by Lucas Aid and Solomon's Bespoke.